The International Court has issued an international warrant of arrest against Vladimir Putin. This is very exciting. Very exciting in what sense? Very exciting in the sense that we're going to discover who is who, I really think. I mean, this has never happened before. Issuing a warrant of arrest against the president of a powerful country, or one of the Security Council country. Do you understand what that is? Unbelievable. The International Criminal Court, the ICC, declared on Friday, March 17th, that it had issued an arrest warrant against the Russian President Vladimir Putin for his responsibility in the illegal deportation of Ukrainian children since the start of the Russian invasion. Vladimir Putin is presumed responsible for a war crime of illegal deportation of children and illegal transfer of population from occupied area of Ukraine in Russian Federation, added the court. I find that very interesting. So the guy moved kids from one area to the other before he bombarded it. He moved kids before he bombarded the area. So what was the right way to do it? Bombarding the area while kids were playing on the field? His crimes were allegedly committed in occupied Ukrainian territory, at least from February 24th, 2002. The ICC continued, adding that there were reasonable ground to believe that Mr. Putin is personally responsible for the aforementioned crime. On Monday, the New York Times reported that ICC was preparing to prosecute Russians for transferring children to Russia and for deliberate strikes on civilian infrastructure in Ukraine. So what we understand here is like, okay, so they moved kids before they bombarded some areas of Ukraine, which we know who its benefits, the war benefits to some people, obviously. Merchants of arms, vendors of arms, of guns and bombs and missiles. I mean, anyway. So basically, they've sent a warrant of arrest for Vladimir Putin. How does this work? The ICC does not have a police or a military base, or military or soldiers. So the only means to execute what they say is through countries who have signed the Treaty of Rome. So how did the ICC come about? Many years ago, during World War I and World War II, when people massacred each other, very, very tragic and horrendous moment in life, they decided to put together international law in order to prosecute people that did the wrong things to each other. At the time, they came up with some ways of trying to prosecute people. The Rome Statute established 4 core international crimes: genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and crimes of aggression. Those crimes shall not be subject of any statute of limitation. Under the Rome Statute, the ICC can only investigate and prosecute the 4 core international crimes in situations where states are unable or unwilling to do so themselves. The jurisdiction of the court is complementary to the jurisdiction of the domestic court. So basically, they came up with an idea of finding a way to prosecute people that did atrocity during big wars, because this happened quite a lot. They came up gradually, years after years, trying to work out something that's going to prevent such horrendous things from happening. We remember the Nuremberg trial at the end of the Second World War, where many war criminals were brought to court, brought to justice to respond for their crimes, their criminal activities, because many soldiers killed many civilians and for no reason. Therefore, there needed to be a way to prosecute those people that did atrocity to women and children and old people for no reason. So the ICC and the Rome Statute idea at the beginning was very, very good, until something very interesting happened. So what happened? If you look at the ICC and the people that are brought to ICC books are generally people from Africa. Yes, most presidents, most governors, most soldiers, most war criminals that are brought to the ICC are most of the time Africans national. That's very unfair, isn't it? Are you going to tell me that people in other countries, in the Western countries, don't do crime? I don't know. I mean, doesn't make sense. I mean, if you look at the President Mugabe, Robert Mugabe, President of Zimbabwe, he came forward. He was among the first people to come forward and speak openly against the ICC, saying, why is there a law for us and a law for you guys? Why does it look like it's only Africans that come to the ICC and respond for their crimes? Are you telling us that you guys don't do anything wrong?
It's not the headquarters of ICC anyway. And we don't want it in this region at all.
No, this is not correct. This is absolute crap. And he was very adamant about it. Same as Muammar Gaddafi. And very quickly, Zimbabwe dismiss themselves out of that. And you can see many other African countries, many other countries in the world decided to do the same. Burundi in 2019 was not part of the ICC anymore. They decided to come out of the ICC with the president Nkurunziza, who was a very strong president for Burundi. He refused, at the time we had COVID, he refused to implement many things that were asked from him. He refused, he let his people free for some reason, and chased away the agent of the World Health Organization from his country. He said, we don't have orders to take from you guys. And he asked them to leave the country. But unfortunately, a few days after, he passed away, mysteriously. The Philippines also pulled themselves out in 2017 from the ICC. Very interesting. The Philippine president is a very, very strong president that does some things that are very controversial. But he decided to pull his country off the ICC group because he feels like this is not fair. Well, it's very interesting. I do believe that if Vladimir Putin does things that are absolutely wrong, he should be brought to books. Yes, I agree. If Putin does things that are completely against the humanity and the respect of humans, he should be brought to books. Yes. However, let's not forget Tony Blair. Let's not forget George Bush Jr. for the things that he did. You remember, guys, they said Iraq at the time held weapons of mass destruction. What happened to that? We all know what happened to that. At the end of the war, they admitted there was no weapon of mass destruction. They didn't find any. What about the people that passed away throughout those difficulties? What about the family that were displaced, separated? What about the fathers, the innocent mother, the grandchildren, the family members that forever saw their life change because of some people that decided to start a war that had no grounds? Are they going to be brought to the ICC too? That would be very interesting. They're still alive, right? Yeah. I think if Putin should go and face the music, so should all these other guys. Don't you share my views? I think I'm 100% sure you do. What's going to happen next? I think it's very important to be fair in the world. If you want to have a law for some people, you should have the same law for everybody. If you look at the map of people that signed, the signees of the Roman statutes, in order to be part of the Roman statute, you need to sign a piece of paper saying my country will be part of the Roman statute. If you look at the card, look at all these countries that have signed. Now look at who has not signed the ICC laws, meaning they will not be subjected to the laws of the ICC. The United States is not part of this. The US is not part of this. Russia retracted themselves. They're not part of this. China is not part of this. Why? Because they understand that they do things and they don't want to be brought to books. So you guys, you small countries, you can be part of the ICC, not us. No, we're not playing this game. You guys can be in there. No. So there's a law for you guys, there's a law for us. This is it basically. This was a move to disrespect Mr. Putin, I believe. I strongly believe if Mr. Putin, President Putin has done wrong things, he should be brought to books. However, if he has to be brought to books, so should other people that have done negative things. I do believe, certainly. A while back, the president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, who was condemned by the ICC, they asked all the countries who are signees, in case that president landed in their country, to send him to Holland to be condemned and sent to prison. So the president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, went to South Africa on a business trip or political trip. And South Africa got a lot of pressure from international opinion, asking them to send him to court to face the music. And at the time, I think it was President Zuma who refused completely to send the president Omar al-Bashir to the ICC. He said he held diplomatic immunity. Therefore, they will not send him to face the ICC. People say a lot of negative things about South Africa, trying to condemn them. Yeah, you're doing things wrong and stuff and all that. Then South Africa said, if you continue to pressure us, we're going to retract from you, ICC. We won't be part of your body anymore. Was that right? Was that wrong? Well, if you're going to judge it, then you should judge everybody. I believe it should be fair, shouldn't it? It's the law. God bless.